And it was a silly thing to do because he could have found such mercy in this country if he had just said, hey, I'm a baby boomer like the rest of you. We were all very immature. We all grew up very slowly. We were all stupid when we were young. I bought the John and Yoko album where they're just farting into a tape recorder for an hour. And then I got it on CD. That's what really hurt. And now it's in my iPod. I mean, I am not getting any brighter. But truly, America loves a second act story. This is the land of second acts. We love redemption. People love it that George Bush was a drunk till he was 40. But then, through the love of a good woman and Jesus Christ, he found his calling in life, destroying the ecosystem of planet Earth, apparently. And I'm not making that up either. I mean, this guy has the worst environmental record of any president since Andrew Jackson stopped killing Indians by hand. And this draft dodger stuff, I bring it up because it is relevant. It's relevant because if George Bush had gone overseas, like so many brave young Americans do, he would have come to understand what all of them understand, which is that people who are not like us are really not like us, okay? Every time Bush talks about they hate us for our freedom, I just want to slap him in his two-dimensional mind, okay? They hate us for our freedom. They hate us for our freedom. You ought to get a fucking parrot. They hate us for our freedom. They hate us for our freedom. You tell them, Fluffy. They hate us for our freedom. That's right. No, it is amusing when Bush gets frustrated that we don't understand him. You know, when he once in a while does an interview. Diane, you can ask that question as many ways as you want. The world is better without Saddam. What don't you shitheads get about that? Saddam was bad, and 9/11 was bad, and bad plus bad is super bad. What? Saddam, 9/11, they hate us for our freedom. I'm out. That's it. What? So, this idea of freedom can work anywhere. Maybe. And maybe not. Maybe the Muslims are just a little too religious to have freedom work. I hope it can work, but, I know it's politically incorrect to say it, but, maybe not. Maybe it won't, Maybe it's like when Elton John tried to marry that chick in the 80s, Good try, but it just wasn't going to stick, And that's the problem, I have to say, with this president, is that he's very, what they call, ethnocentric. He only sees the world through his eyes, through the eyes of his culture. I'll give you a good example. After bin Laden slipped through our dead or alive dragnet in 2001, we put out a bounty on his head of $25 million. And after 3 years, when we still didn't find him, they upped the bounty to $50 million, because that was the problem. Yeah, to the goat herders on the Afghan-Pakistani border who live on $1 a day, $25 million was, quite frankly, insulting. It was, as an offer, it was just insulting. Who do you think you're negotiating with, my friend? I don't milk a yak for $25 million. I don't get out of bed for... And by the way, even if they do find and kill bin Laden, it will have the same effect on terrorism as Ray Kroc dying had on McDonald's, okay? The franchise has been built. And what can I tell you? Freedom means different things to different people. The Quran says freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. No. No, that's me and Bobby McGee. I'm sorry. I mix those two up all the time. As for now, did it make us safer? No, not in our lifetimes. I don't care how good that comes out. In our lifetime, it's not going to be safer. Those pictures alone from Abu Ghraib-ass prison ensure that you and I are not going to be safer in our lifetime, because that was the Muslims' worst nightmare, that we would invade an Arab country and then there would be pictures of our hillbilly women folk pointing at their wieners. That is like their ultimate. I mean, did you see these pictures? This picture after picture of piles of hairy man-ass. Does the media have such sphincteritis about the military that they can't even point out how overwhelmingly gay this is? When every picture is, hey, get one of me with all the penises in my face. It's like the worst newlywed game ever. Where's the weirdest place you ever made whoopee? On a pile of naked Iraqis, actually. I mean, come on. I don't think Rumsfeld should step down. I think he should come out. Yeah, I guess what's most confusing about Iraq is people think of the Republicans as, if nothing else, efficient. So how could they do this war in such a bad way? This was supposed to be the efficient people. This was the CEO administration, right? That's what they ran on. The Clinton White House was a dorm room. People were late to meetings, and there were pizza boxes everywhere, and people getting blowjobs. I mean, it was a disgrace. And these people came in, they were going to wear a coat and tie, and they were on time to meetings. So how come this is the crowd that fights a 3-week war and then goes, oh, dude, I totally spaced on the post-war. Whoa, shit, I had a little sticky on my computer. It said post-war. It must have fell off. And it is a good question, and I'll give you my theory on it. I think what it is that Republicans, for all their macho posturing, they're really such sentimentalists. Everything is that lump in the throat moment. Bush with his arm around the fireman. Oh. Reagan. It's morning in America. Yeah, I used to think, yeah, but I'm not a morning person. So that's why they didn't have a plan, Why didn't they have a plan? Because they didn't think they needed a plan. They just thought, we're going to go over there and we're Americans. We're spreading freedom. We're going to spread freedom dust. Who needs a plan? It was Operation Get a Load of Us. So, even if they did wind up getting the big picture right, and that still is something of an if, just the way they fucked it up all along the way, the amount of people who had to die needlessly, the bad judgments. And then, during the campaign, Dick Cheney had the nerve to make John Kerry's judgment the issue. That's what he kept saying. Can't trust wild man Kerry's judgment. And I thought, oh, good. Let's have an election based on judgment about national security issues. How about the judgment to piss off the whole world so that we had exactly one real ally for Iraq II, the search for Curly's gold? How about the judgment to ignore briefings and memos with titles like Osama bin Laden is standing right behind you? How about the judgment not to hold anybody accountable for these massive intelligence failures? You realize that since 9/11, the only person to have been held accountable and fired because of this